Hey, and welcome back. Today I want to talk about something that, well, it kind of affects every single one of us. So let me paint this scenario for you. You have a deep conversation with a client or a staff member. They walk away feeling excited. And then 2-3 hours later, you go to them and say, "So how did it go?" And you kind of get a blank look on their face. It's as if they've never had a conversation with you. And we always think, well, the communication that we have with people, surely they're understanding it. Well, in this session, I want to talk about a simple skill to help you to have the most effective communication with the people that you are speaking with. You see, in business, not only with staff and with clients, but in business in general, a lot of business transactions seem to almost create these levels of problems. And it's not because of the relationship. It's actually because of the lack of clarity in the communication that's actually given. I want you to think back to the time when somebody gave you a set of instructions, and at the end of it, you went, "What did they say?" Yes, I know we've all experienced that. Well, if you've experienced it, imagine somebody being at the end of you giving them their instructions. You see, so too often, the instructions that come to us, the clarity is lost. It becomes almost like a misunderstanding type of communication. So how do we eradicate that? How do we actually take the message that is unclear and confusing and actually convert it into something where everybody understands it with pure clarity? Well, I'm going to share with you 3 tips. And these 3 tips is going to help you to create an effective communication with your clients, with your staff. Hey, it could even be with your friends and family. It's such an important part when we're actually in our life. So let me start with this question. I've given you that scenario. How often do you assume people understand you without confirming any level of clarity? How often do you assume people understand you without confirming any form of clarity? I'm going to come back to that question a little bit later on, but it's an important question that I just wanted to drop right into the actual beginning of this. Now, if at any stage you're having difficulties in understanding how to get your communication across an effective manner, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Go to my website, stuarthyslop.com. Up in the top right corner, you will actually see there's a little button where you can book a clarity call. It's free, no obligations. It's not a sales call. I might add a little sales bit in the end of it, but that's not my purpose. My purpose is to help, and that's what I want you to do. So if you find any struggles, don't hesitate to push that button. So let's look at this effective communication. How do we up our skills so that we can communicate with our clients, with our staff, with our family, our friends in such a manner that people leave with clarity? Well, there's 3 tips that I'm going to share with you. And each one of them builds on another. So you can pick one or you can pick all 3. Let's talk about the first one. And this happens so too often. You stand in front of somebody and they come up to you and they say, "You know what? On Friday, we need to do this. And then on Saturday, we need to do this. But on Thursday, let's make sure that we have this prepared so that on Friday afternoon, we can have this ready for what we're going to do the following week." It's such a mishmash of information that you're going, what? Well, this is the first tip. Lead with the main point first. Sit down and think exactly what you want to be as an effective communication. What is it that you really want the person in front of you to understand? What is that one main point? That's what you start with. Put a lot of emphasis around it. Stop burying it in messages, in distractions, in all this ping-ponging around the actual main message. So before you have that conversation, Understand what is the main point. I need you to pick something up. There we go. Wait for the confirmation and then go deeper. Start with that main point first. State it as an outcome, state it as an action which is clear before adding any explanation or details to it. By doing that, suddenly it creates a heading that makes an awareness and then an acknowledgement, and then those instructions can follow thereafter. Don't give them instructions and somewhere in the middle, give it the heading. So tip number 1, and it's the one that we so too often get wrong, start with the main point first. Get that across. Make sure you get the actual confirmation, the clarity, the nod of their head. Even ask them, what did I say? So that they can repeat it back to you if you have to, and then give the details or the actions, instructions to follow it. That's number 1. Do that, and you're going to find that more and more people will actually follow your instructions. Whether they're good or bad, they'll follow them. So that's the first point out there. The second, and this happens so too often, we look at our clients, we look at our staff, we have a communication with them, but sometimes we add words that maybe we've just heard about, we've just learnt about. Maybe it's a language that, well, some people might not understand. So, for instance, if you're in an industry that talks with acronyms, you might be talking to someone that doesn't understand them. So the second tip, use simple language to increase the understanding. Don't overcomplicate it. You don't have to impress anybody, especially when you're giving an instruction or you're giving some detailed information. Keep it simple. Short sentences with familiar words that they can actually comprehend makes the conversation go so much better, because they'll understand you. I've seen this way too often where someone gives an instruction and you almost go, what is that? Then the brain is so focused on the what is that moment, it forgets everything else. So tip number 2, use simple language and increase. This helps you to increase that understanding. Clarity is so important. We don't have to overcomplicate it. We don't have to talk ourselves into this highfalutin way that makes us look impressive. Keep it simple. It's that simple language that will get the understanding going forward. So the first, lead with the main point. Don't just throw everything together. Lead with that main point. But when you're leading with that main point, tip number 2, use simple language so that you can increase the actual understanding. It's such a powerful way of starting that communication with somebody. Then the third tip, and the third tip is one that way too often we hear a response, and instead of us internalizing it, we just hammer back. We just carry on with a different topic. We just go off on a tangent, and then everything is lost. Tip number 3 is what we call pause before speaking or pause before sending. The key here is pause. You see, when we receive an email and we get frustrated, we don't know what that email is all about, but it seems like it's attacking us. It's just popped into our mail and we just hammer at that keyboard and we send it straight back. Meanwhile, the person was actually typing something and they put it in a tone that maybe they could have toned down. You read it for the second time and you go, oh, wait a minute, I misunderstood that. I read the second paragraph. Whoa, I misunderstood that. Now you've created a problem. The same goes when somebody says something to you and you feel that a little bit of a emotion or that inside of you. Don't respond back straight away. Pause. Internalize. Think about it. You see, taking that brief pause, it actually reduces the emotional reaction. And when we talk in emotions, we can sometimes sound rather confusing because it doesn't make sense. It's a language of emotions that people go, what did you say? Did you really say that? I can't believe that's what you said. So pause, internalize it, let the emotion go down, and then respond. What you're going to find is your response is now going to be calculated. It's actually going to be at a point where people are going to go, I might have said that incorrectly, but you took it in the right way. Thank you for that. And you can carry on with the conversation. It is better to think before you send or speak, which actually is going to help with a better communication. So let's have a look at those 3 tips so that you can start to bring it into your business, bring it into your life. The first one, lead with the main point. Just get it out there. Leave out all the distractions and the instructions and all of that. Just get that main point, get an acknowledgement, and then follow up with the clarity of the instructions or directions and actions, etc. The second, use simple language. Don't overcomplicate things. Keep it simple so that more people can actually understand it. And the third, pause. If you read anything, if you hear anything, don't react with emotions. Just pause. Take a deep breath if you have to. Think about it. What did they just say to me? You might need to get them just to clarify it because they're not speaking in simple language, or maybe the main point is hidden amongst everything. Pause, get the clarity, then respond, and you'll find that the communication will be so much stronger. So in the beginning, I asked you a question, and that question is, how often do you assume people understand you without confirming the full clarity? How often do you assume people understand you without confirming the full clarity? You see, when you think about that now and you start to incorporate those 3 tips that I've just shared with you, lead with the main point, use simple language, pause before you respond. How often have you seen somebody walk away and they have no idea what the instruction is? They have no idea what to do. And in fact, they may even say, I have no idea what service or product you actually offer. And that becomes crucial for your business. So take these 3 little tips that I've shared with you. Start to put them into your life. Start to put them into your communication so that you can actually have that effective communication with your clients, your staff, your peers, friends, family, anybody around you. The better your communication, the better the outcome is going to be, not only for your personal life, but also for your professional life. Make this one of your priorities, because communication is where we have so many problems arise in business. And we want to eradicate all of that. Now, with all my sessions, I love to share a quote. And this quote, I want to say, is actually a nice little gem. The most powerful communication is the simplest one. The most powerful communication is the simplest one. So look at this particular session. And if you have any difficulties in finding, how do I simplify it? How do I get that pause? I'm a reactive person. I like to hit the emotions. Well, reach out to me. Jump onto my website, stuarthyslop.com. Go to the top right-hand corner. You'll see that little button. Book a free clarity call with me. I'm here to help you through your journey. That's what these episodes are all about. The One Thing Guy podcast is really geared to take a simple concept, a simple idea, and actually transform it into some very easy, actionable tips and tricks and steps to help you master your life as you're going forward. If you actually want a specific topic, or if you find a specific challenge, don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can actually, again, go to my website, stuarthyslop.com, and just click on that contact me button. Send me a note, because I'm happy to set up a session to actually help not only you, but everybody else. So from this particular session, just pick one of those tips. Lead with the main point, or the simple language, or just pause. Just pick one of them and start to implement that into your communication as you're going forward. Remember, knowledge, well, it only creates awareness, but it's the actions that create results. So put this into action, and I look forward to seeing you in the next session. You've been listening to The One Thing Guy. Remember, when you focus on what matters most, everything changes. See you next time.